So let's turn our attention to ANC politics, in particular Eastern Cape ANC politics. That elective conference set to end today if there aren't any further delays. It's been extended, though, already after an issue with credentials. Some branches claiming the process of selecting a new chairperson is being manipulated. So how surprised is political analyst Sandile Swana, who joins us now? Sandile, always good to have you on eNCA. And as you sat back last Friday and you looked ahead to this conference, were you really expecting this to go off with no problems? Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth, and your viewers. No, I think most of us expected this to have problems, but I did not expect that it would be as chaotic as it is.
Why do you think it's gone so left on what's been happening down there? Once again, a lot of confusion as to what's actually taking place.
You know, part of the issue here is that the top leadership in the African National Congress in the past has been able to railroad and steamroll these conferences regardless of who is satisfied and dissatisfied. For instance, the last version of this conference, where Cyril Ramaphosa was the overseer, it ended up with the competing side, which was led by Maswale, being beaten up. Some of the people who are now competing against those people who were beating people up there, Oscar Mabuyane's group, which was the ones who were beating people up, are now competing against Mabuyane. They know the tricks of how you railroad these things, how you trick them and how you cheat and what you do around these things. So they've got equal insight as to how to cheat in this conference and how to bully people in this conference. So that is where the stalemate is at, because I think the level of intelligence and insight is the same on both sides. And they know that the people who are deployed there to oversee the conference are there to produce a particular outcome relative to CR22.
We're now seeing as well that the ANC spokesperson, Pule Mabe, Sandile, is saying that he's confident, despite all of this, the conference won't collapse. Do you share his optimism?
Yes, there is a good chance that the conference will not collapse. And the only thing I can think of is that if the conference in many ways is compliant and you walk out of it, the ones who are remaining will simply vote Mabuyane into power. So you've got to fight at the venue and not leave the venue and not leave the conference.
I can't help but think, Sandile,
and you cannot disrupt.
Carry on.
You cannot disrupt the conference. You cannot disrupt the conference completely because the security will deal with you. So you've got to find creative ways of insisting on your position until the correct voters' roll, if you want to call it that, the correct credentials are accepted in the conference.
Yeah, right now that method of doing the delaying seems to be singing and dancing inside. But this is not the first rodeo for you or me or South Africa, Sandile. When we're seeing this kind of contestation within a conference now, whatever is decided, it's a fairly good bet that this is going to end up in court somewhere down the road, isn't it?
This is going to be bitter in many ways, Gareth. As I was reflecting on this, is that this is absolutely bitter because some of the people in this conference have lost their comrades. People have already died in the days building up to the conference and in the months building up to this conference. So every method has been used. The courts have been used. Every other method, informal and formal, has been used to try and determine the outcome of it. So people are very bitter. And I expect that post this conference, there will be other manifestations of that bitterness, whether it's court processes or other processes, but the bitterness will continue.
Just as I say goodbye to you, Sandile, very briefly, from what you've seen so far from the weekend, who would you say is the horse that's leading out front at the moment? Who would be the clear favourite for you, if any?
I think if the correct credentials are used, Matikizela will take it. which is where the problem is coming from, because I want to believe that the NEC members who are there want a different outcome. They want Oscar Mabuyane to come in at all costs. So Oscar Mabuyane has got top support from the national, and he's got some respectable support from locally, although some of it is ghost members. That is how I see it.
I appreciate your time as always. Always good to have Sandile Swana on with us here on eNCA. Very, very complicated ANC elective conference. But if it was just between you and I, let's be honest, I think we all knew it was going to get very messy at